If the tax commissioner communicates with you today and they tell you your tax refund is ready, what are you going to do? What? Suddenly, you have money. You have been looking for this money for many days. You put in the application. You have gone to the tax commissioner's office very many times. You have almost given up. And then, suddenly, out of the blues, the tax commissioner communicates with you. Your tax refund is ready. What are you going to tell the tax commissioner? What? Sometimes back, I was having a cup of tea with a friend of mine, and a message came through in their phone. They looked at the phone and they smiled. And I wondered, what message has this person received? The person looked like they had been told that the people who are marrying his daughter were to appear in his house that weekend. You could see the joy in the person. The person was suddenly smiling. The same person who was gloomy a few minutes earlier was suddenly smiling, very happy. I looked at the person like, what have you been told? You know, when someone looks at you like they want to know something, but they cannot voice it out. Such cases, you just look at the person in anticipation. You are also going to share in the good news. And that is exactly what I did. Fear women. Now, the person told me that the tax commissioner had informed them that the tax refund processing had been completed. Actually, why we had met was because of a certain tax issue that he was facing, only for me to learn that what he wanted us to talk about was the delay in the processing of his tax refunds. He got the good news, but now he had been informed that the processing had been completed. What was I to do? I thought when I left my office, I had gone for a business meeting. But now, whatever the tax issue was, it had been resolved. What next? When you're a tax consultant, you must always seize each and every moment. I had to quickly think of what other services I would provide the person. I was at the right place at the right time. I posed the question. You have been informed that your tax refund is ready. You can get the money. What are you going to do with that money? The person told me that they had actually not thought about what they would do with the money because they had been looking for that money for a long time. They had plans initially on what they wanted to do, but now the money had taken so long that so many things had happened. At that point, I decided to offer tax consultancy. Of course, a bill would follow. And we started discussing about some of the things that the person can do with the tax refunds. And that is the basis of this video. That is the basis of our discussion today. What are some of the things that you can do with your tax refunds? There are basically 4 things that you can do, but this does not mean that these are the only things that you can do. There may be others, but these are the critical things that you can do with your tax refunds. The first thing that you can do is pay all your tax liabilities. That is, the current tax liabilities in the tax ledger. And in case you have been able to establish other tax liabilities that the tax commissioner has not established, and this means that those tax liabilities are not in your tax ledger with the tax commissioner, you can always inform the tax commissioner and say, look, I was supposed to pay this amount of money, but I did not pay. Can you use my tax refunds to pay for those tax liabilities? The tax commissioner will be very happy to move that money from the refunds to your tax liabilities. One of the best things that you can ever have is a clean tax ledger where you have paid all your debts, because you will not live in fear of the tax commissioner sending an agency notice for your tax liabilities. So the first thing that you can do is you ask the tax commissioner to pay your tax liabilities. And those are the liabilities the tax commissioner knows about, and those liabilities that the tax commissioner does not know about, but you as a taxpayer, you know about those tax liabilities. Number 2, you can ask the tax commissioner to deposit the cash direct into your bank account. Of course, you will have provided your bank account details when you applied for the tax refunds. it is important for you to remember that the tax commissioner is not going to give you any money as long as your tax liabilities have not been sorted out. So when you're asking the tax commissioner to deposit the cash into your bank account, you will either be asking the tax commissioner to deposit the full amount of the tax refunds, that is in case you do not have any tax liabilities, or you will be asking the tax commissioner to deposit the balance of your tax refunds after paying your tax liabilities. Number 3, you can ask the tax commissioner to hold the money for future debts. Remember, you are a taxpayer who is going to pay tax even in the future. For example, if you have employees, you are going to pay as you earn as long as they are working for you. If you are registered for VAT, you will be paying VAT on a monthly basis when you have VAT to pay. If you have any income that is taxable in any year of income, then you will be paying income tax in the future. Sometimes this does not make business sense. Here you have tax refunds. The tax commissioner is telling you, we are ready to pay you your tax refunds. But you are telling the tax commissioner, stay with the money and pay that towards my future debts. To many people, they would rather have the money. They can be able to use that money in their business and make more money. But there are some people who would rather have money with the tax commissioner and they can use that money when they need to do so. We are different. If you are better off having the money to utilize the money and generate more income, well and good. But if you are those people who would rather the tax commissioner holds the money and you utilize that money in future, it is okay. The choice is yours. Now, when you ask the tax commissioner to hold the money, the tax commissioner is going to give you a document. That credit document, you are going to use it when you need to do so. But it is important for you to remember that sometimes that credit document can expire. For example, in the case of VAT, we have seen instances or cases where the VAT credit document expires after 6 months. So what are you going to do if after 6 months you have not been able to utilize that credit? We will discuss this in another video, so please be on the lookout. Number 4, you can decide to just keep quiet. You just keep quiet and you'll be telling the commissioner, keep change. I am feeling sufficiently philanthropic. Yes, you can do that. That is a choice. Maybe you have been looking for this money for a very long time. You are tired. You are demotivated. You don't want to hear anything about tax refunds. You can decide to keep quiet. The tax commissioner will be very happy. The government is very happy with such kind of people. The government will continuously use that money, and when you need the money, you can always go and ask for the money. Is this advisable? This totally depends on you. It is your choice. You can do whatever you want to do with your money. Now, we have come to the end of this discussion, and we have been discussing about 4 things that you can do with your tax refunds. And we can quickly recap the things that you can do. Number 1, you can pay all your tax liabilities, and those are the liabilities that the tax commissioner is aware about, and those other liabilities that the tax commissioner does not know, but you are aware about them. Number 2 is you can ask the tax commissioner to deposit the money into your bank account. Number 3, you can ask the tax commissioner to hold the money and pay your future tax debts with the money. Number 4 is you can decide to be sufficiently philanthropic, and the commissioner will be very happy about that. Now, whatever we have discussed in this video is what I discussed with my tax client. And of course, this was not free, and the person actually paid me because this was very important information. Many times, what a tax consultant is paid is not because the taxpayer does not know. A tax consultant is paid to clarify some of the things that the taxpayers do not know. And sometimes I am forced to think that probably tax consultants and any other consultant is like that mganga from Zanzibar. I believe if you go to see a mganga from Zanzibar, I have never gone, but I believe this is what happens, is that you go and tell them what your problem is and what your solution is. And they just help you to see a clear picture of what your problem is and what your solution is, plus that other affirmation. What do you think? Now, if the tax commissioner informs you that your tax refund is ready, what are you going to tell the tax commissioner to do with your tax refunds? Please let us know in the comments, and remember to subscribe. Your presenter today has been, as always, Dr. Wakaguyu Wakiburi. And before you leave, make sure that you check out what we have in the description of this video. We have links to resources that can help you as a taxpayer and also as a business owner. Until next time, stay well.